devo dire che
Hey everyone, welcome to the show. I was recently on Life Done Free's YouTube channel, and we had a prepping roundtable where we had him, we had me, we had Grumpy Acres Farm, and we had All American Prepper on, and we basically just had a conversation about prepping from four preppers just kind of chatting it up. In that show, we talked about the Golden Hoard, the likelihood of that Mad Max style, everybody running from the cities and coming out to the suburbs or even the rural area, how likely that possibility is. We talked about food security. We talked about foraging and homesteading and all of those things, the fundamentals of preparedness. We also talked about the prepping stigma and the importance of community, and then gave some advice afterwards. So at any rate, what I wanted to do was just play that video, play the audio from that video here today. And I'll make sure and link that video on the show notes as well. But just a really cool conversation, really down to earth, prepping basic stuff, not all the things that you hear about all the time. We're going to die tomorrow if we don't do this or we don't do that. It was more of how to, how we go about making prepping a lifestyle. And it was, like I said, it was just a really cool video, really fun to do. We are also going to be doing sort of the same thing this coming Wednesday, depending on when you're listening to this podcast. I believe it's the 14th of June when we're going to be doing another roundtable, but we're going to have Brian Duff on from Mine for Survival, Grumpy Acres, me, and Life Done Free as well. And have sort of, I'm sure we'll talk about different subjects, but sort of the same style of talk. Just, a bunch of preppers sitting there talking and discussing some of the different important things in preparedness. But at any rate, let's go ahead and get into that. It was a little bit of a longer video. We went for about an hour and a half, but when you have four guys talking about things, it's bound to be that way. So you may have to chunk this up into maybe listen to it in two different parts, but it's just a really good video, really good conversation about the basics of preparedness, the important things in preparedness, I think. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into that.
Well, good evening, everybody. How is everybody? So we've got three guests here tonight, and I just wanted to introduce them real quick. So the first person that we're going to add to the screen is Grumpy Cranky, lives on caffeine and hate, and so it's Grumpy Acres. And welcome, Mr. G.
How's everybody doing? I'm not nearly as worked up as I was last time we talked, man.
That's good, right?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. We'll find out.
Yep. Next guy's rough and tough. He has absolutely no filter, and so welcome the American Prepper. I almost missed it. Yep. And then, hey, we got a new guest tonight. I don't know the dirt on him. I tried to really find it. I really did. You guys have to give me credit. I tried to dig. I couldn't find any dirt. The All-American Prepper couldn't help me find any dirt. So he's a super cool guy. Love what he's doing. And we're going to learn some dirt tonight. So next time I can actually tell some BS story as we introduce him. But welcome to Survivalist Prepper.
What's going on, guys? Hey. I'm gonna be the kind of the fly on the wall tonight because you guys are kind of animated. I've watched your guys' videos and I'm a little more low key. So
yeah, well, we could probably use some low key in this group, just so you know. No, it's all good. So, what do you guys want to talk about tonight? I think there's all kinds of things out there. Let's I guess I'll just start with a question. So, what are you guys watching right now? What's going on in the world that has you concerned? Grumpy, what's up with you? What are you watching?
Quite honestly, the past week or so, not much. We were busy with the Okie Homesteading Expo and had a great time down there. That's an expo that if you're into homesteading, even prepping, they had a lot of stuff that was good prepping stuff too. I would highly recommend it. So we're recovering from that. Had a great weekend. Met some fantastic people, and kind of put the world on hold for a couple of days, and we're just now getting back into it.
Yeah, cool. So since he had a lame answer, All-American Prepper, what you got?
I've been watching, Canada's on fire.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's on fire big time. So I just been keeping an eye on them fires, seeing what the hell's going on with that.
Well, they got all kinds of other fires going on too, do they not? I mean, with their digital dollar and, the things that are going on up there, it seems like they're a little bit ahead of us in a lot of those things. I feel sorry for the people living up there.
I wouldn't live in Canada. Well, actually, I'm not allowed in Canada, so I've been kicked out of Canada, and if I go back to Canada, they're gonna lock me up. So I ain't allowed to go to Canada.
All right, survivalist prepper, what you watching?
It's kind of tough these days because it seems like it doesn't matter what direction you look, something's coming. So and sort of along the same lines of Grumpy during the summertime, and I'm nowhere near what you guys are at as far as the homesteading and all that stuff. But during the summertime, you get so busy, luckily, that you can't really inundate yourself with all the things that are going on. But you've got, you talk about Canada. I think Canada is just a sort of a beacon for what's possible down here in the next couple decades. Yeah. And you've got the digital currency, you've got the AI, you've got the misinformation BS and all that stuff going on. And it's just like, I think I watched, I think it was Grumpy, one of your older videos. I don't know how old it was, but you were talking about how there's two different classes here in the United States, or two different United States. And right. I think that's where we kind of are. And I think, unfortunately, like us and the people watching this show, it seems like we're losing at this point. But, not to say that it's inevitable or anything, but it seems like the other side is just, I've seen some things recently that are sort of good that give me some hope, but a lot of the things going on, it just seems like, it's just headed in the wrong direction. A lot of great things that have happened in our society, and a lot of crap usually blame on the government and, the powerful, the rich, the elite. A lot of things just going in the wrong direction, and it seems like with all the money up at the top now, there's not a whole lot we can do about it.
Yeah.
Other than prepare.
Yeah, for me, I think the thing that I'm watching, the thing that worries me the most is this whole Fed now digital dollar tracking everything you're buying. They're going to make it really, really hard to do anything. They're going to make it really, really hard to survive, because then they can just hang the, your social credit score, the ESG system. They can hang that over your head and determine what you get and you don't get, and they can track it all. And so I think that the tyranny and that, grip, that totalitarian grip, probably worries me personally more than anything that's going on, at least right now.
I used to think that we were winning that battle. I really did. And the whole reaction from the Marxists in the country, and the going over the top, the doubling down on the gun control, the trying to take control with the money and stuff. I thought that was a last gasp effort, that they were losing. They saw that the window was closing. But I was listening to Nick Freitas. He does a live show once a week, and he's a Virginia State legislature guy. Really, really good guy, really well-spoken, ex-special forces, all that stuff. And they were talking about it. And you realize that a Republican president has not won the popular vote since Bush's second run at the office. And even then, it was just barely. And they lost the popular vote the two times before that. So what that means is the majority of the people voting in this country believe that the Marxist way is the way to go. Mm-hmm. And think about it. We got an entire generation of kids. I say kids, they're in their 20s. But we've got an entire generation that's been raised on America is bad, Marxism is good. They've got this view of Marxism, socialism that does not jibe with history, and they're the ones that are going to be setting policy in the near future. So I think what Survivalist Prepper said is spot on, man. I really kind of disheartening to finally admit that, but man, you can't argue with the facts, man.
Yeah. Do you guys think that, and I think about this all the time, and I don't mean to be, one of those guys that, prepping is going to become illegal and all that crap, right? I'm not that type of person that goes that route. But do you think with all the things that are going on and could aspects of preparedness, the stockpiling, the being able to store a lot of food, the guns, that's always going to be an issue, and the ammo. But do you think it's going to be harder and harder? Not necessarily, being a prepper, they're going to lock you up for being a prepper, but there are certain aspects of preparedness going to be sort of illegal, especially if you think about a social credit score or something like that, where if you buy this much food, what do you need all that for? You're taking away from other people, the whole Marxist thing. Yeah. What are your guys' thoughts on that, as far as not necessarily prepping becoming illegal, but aspects of it? Because I see it sort of going that direction.
Yeah.
I'll be the first one they kill.
Go ahead. Do it.
I'll be the first one they kill. Put it that way. That's all I can say. I'll be the first one they kill.
Yeah, I think the ESG system is very real. And I know it's real. Merrill Lynch is including it in statements today. And, some of their statements going on. There's a lot of companies that have actually been using it now for 15, 16, 17 years. You just didn't know about it because it was at the corporate world, level, kind of behind the scenes. But I think with 100% certainty, they're going to make a run at controlling everything, to include what you're prepping and what you're putting away, because they'll say, hey, because of your ESG score, you're only allowed this many credits this month, or you're only allowed. I absolutely see it. And I don't think that is conspiratorial at all. It's here.
Yeah.
It's here right now. It's going on now.
I don't think they'll make it illegal. They won't have to. They'll just make it hard to do, to the point where you can't do it, which is why the whole building the community and building these alternative economies is so important right now, because we still got time to do it. And they don't have control of us yet, so we got to prepare the battlefield. Like I said, prepare the battlefield for the future fight.
Yeah, that's a very good point, because it's sort of an outnumbered type thing. So the more localized you can be, the more you can get your, like Tag, you were talking about there, 900 people or so like that in a community you're putting together. Something like that could be necessary in just a couple decades. With AI and all that, it could be sooner than that. We just don't know, but or it could be, it could be our grandkids. We don't know, but that local community, everybody's so dependent on everything that's, delivered to them from different countries, even where if you have that small group of people that you can basically, run yourselves without having to rely on all that, being self-reliant, the basics of prepping. I think if you have that, you're going to be better off.
Yeah, this is
I got it whooped. I got that whooped. I can hunt hog. I don't have to buy anything. I really don't. I can stockpile 1,000 pounds of hog meat in 2 days. I
think the challenge.
I don't go to the store except for to buy soap.
Yeah, you know what, All America Prepper, I think the challenge in this becomes, and understand this comes from someone who lives it. I live it every single day. And I went down this huge quest to get free. And we actually created, Survivalist Prepper said, because you don't know this, we created what we called the ungovernable score. We have this calculator that you can put in all these different inputs, and it will tell you how free you are in the matrix. And it's super cool, right? We spent just a huge amount of time doing it. But anyway, what I learned is getting from 0 to 20 was really easy. And 20 to 40 was a little bit harder, and 40 to 60 was even harder. But now, as I get further and further along, I don't know that 100% freedom is possible. And I'll tell you why I say that is because at the end of the day, I can't create gasoline. And if I can create gasoline, I can't create the filter. If I can't, maybe I can create the filter, but I can't create the salt. I don't have a salt mine. And you get dependent upon the system for the things you cannot do, which is why community matters. If I can probably eat up 80% on my own, 80% of my needs I could probably do myself. Where do I get the other 20? And the answer is the parallel economy in the community, which Garen was talking about earlier. This is why it's so critical. If we can do this, I think we can get into the high 90s, where really we can take care of the vast majority of what we as a community need by yoking up, by getting together, by sharing resources, by understanding skill sets, and by doing those things. I do.
Yeah,
I got your salt. I can go to the ocean and just let that ocean water evaporate, and there's nothing but salt in there.
Yeah, but how am I going to get it 1,200 miles away? You going to airlift it?
Yeah, there's where the gas comes in. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. That's my point.
Unless you're willing to live like 150, 200 years ago with horses pulling, pulling plows and things like that. And you know what, if you want to, I suppose all good for you, but it's going to be a lot more efficient with a lot of these modern tools and tractors and things like that. So it's just, if it's possible, I think it's something I would do. I'll put it that way.
Well, and that's that modern self-sufficiency that we talk about all the time. Being able to take care of as many problems as you can with the skills, material, and tools that you have on hand. Mm-hmm. And people need to decide exactly how much modern self-sufficiency they want, because it goes back to making a pencil. No one person can make a pencil because there's so many different disciplines. There's mining, there's lumberjacking, there's milling, there's chemicals, there's all kinds of so many disciplines that one person cannot make a pencil. So we need to figure out A, how much we're willing to do without, and B, how much do we need to learn to get to the point we want to be. And it's a tough question. It really is. I'm gonna tell you, it is. It's hard.
Yeah.
Okay. Can I chase a squirrel for a second?
Well,
so you're talking about the ungovernable.
Would it matter?
No. Okay. So you're talking about the ungovernable score. I found a guy this weekend. His name, he's got a channel. It's called Johnny B, and he's got an ungovernable logo.
Okay.
Do you remember the Killdozer incident? The guy in Colorado that made the bulldozer. It's
Hero.
It's the Killdozer with ungovernable written inside of it, and it's the best ungovernable logo I think I've ever seen. I about peed my pants. I was laughing so hard. Okay,
we got tanks. We got tanks. So we literally got tanks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, somebody was asking me where to find the ungovernable calculator, and it's on my website, lifedonefree.com, and it's just a super spreadsheet, right? There's all kinds of different ones on there that, do, feed to meat ratio, and just, there's all kinds of really cool things in there, but they were asking. So if you go to lifedonefree.com, you can download the ungovernable score calculator. It's just an Excel calculator. It asks you for a bunch of inputs, and in the end, it just kind of spits out where you're at, but it's pretty cool. We've had a lot of fun building it over the years, and I'm hoping it continues to grow. But anyway, what is that?
Go ahead and get your stuff like this right now. Mm-hmm. Get it while it's legal.
Is that shield you were talking about the other day?
Yep. Get your body armor, get your ballistic shields, get all that stuff now while it's legal.
I hate to say this. That kind of looks like a silhouette, an IPSC silhouette, and those government agents, that's all they shoot at. You may be making yourself a more easily identifiable target with that thing.
I've been shot before. It don't hurt as bad as they say. It just burns. Joe Tech, I was talking to him. He's in the chat. I was talking to him today, and he's like, once you get lead in you, it never leaves your body. And I'm like, oh man, I'm screwed, because I've been shot several times with shotguns, and I got bullets literally in my bone marrow that they refuse to take out. So maybe that lead's going to make me more dumb than I already am. I don't know. But this I'm ready for the fight, man. This is for the bump in the night, because it takes a little minute to put that body armor on, but you just grab this,
Yeah, maybe I'm old and soft, all-American prepper, but I don't want to get that close to anybody.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, where you live, you can shoot them from 2 miles away before they even get near you.
Nope. I tell people all the time out here, big fences and tall trees. And, my driveway is 1,650 feet long. I don't want to be anywhere close to anybody. Does that make me?
You don't want them close. If you don't want them close, they won't get close if you got a long barrel.
Yep. I don't want to get this video hammered like the last one did, so I'm not going to touch that topic.
Yeah.
What happened to the last one?
Oh man,
you got limited monetization, but I don't think we said anything bad much.
It doesn't take much to get limited monetization on YouTube these days.
Yeah.
3 of our last 4 updates have been limited monetization, and we of course, they got me going last night, Ghetto, with his question about, never mind.
So sort of on that topic, what do you guys think the odds are? You hear it all the time. People talk about people coming out, as leaving the city, the Golden Hoard, right? Going out to where you guys live. I'm a lot closer to the city limits than probably all 3 of you are. I call myself semi-suburban or I'm not rural, but I'm not suburban, so it's kind of right in there. Although in 10 years we are going to be suburban, so I've got to figure out where to move. But what do you think about? I mean, what would it take for people to actually leave? Because people stay in the inner cities, like the homeless people and all of those people, because of the resources there, because everything is right there. They can get whatever they need to. But when all of that is gone, hey, what's up, Jammer? When all of that is gone, do you think they are going to move out to the suburbs? Are they going to go where there's greener pastures? And do you think that would reach, say, where you guys are?
Yeah. I guess I'll start. So the short answer is yes. And I think that great people are going to do horrible things when their kids are hungry, period. That's the way it is. And so if you guys go back way early in my videos, there's a video in there called How We Found Our Land. And I went through a threat and needs analysis of how to put as many natural barriers as you can between you and the golden horde, and how to structure something in a way that makes it hard, not impossible, because at the end of the day, they can get here. But if you can limit the amount, you can push them the way you want them to push them, then I think you can deal with it a whole lot easier. But the short answer is yes, I think that that's absolutely true.
Okay, I'll go next. So contrary to what it may look like, I don't believe there's going to be a complete and total collapse of society. The Golden Horde makes for great prepper fiction. Historically, though, there's not much to support it. But what I do think is going to happen is we're going to go through a severe economic crisis that's going to rival what happened in Argentina in 2000, what's going on in South Africa, what went on in Rhodesia during the collapse of the white rule. And his history tells us that criminal gangs will come out and they will start raiding rural properties. And so am I concerned about the Golden Horde? No, the Mad Max people rolling out here like that. What I am concerned about is people coming out and staking out my place, catching me when I'm unlocking the gate, or attacking, kicking in my door at 1 o'clock in the morning, because we chose, instead of going the mutual assistance group route, we went for a larger community, an intentional community. And so we're all kind of islands out here on our own, and we can hold our own for a little bit against a concentrated attack like that from criminals. We can't do it from a sustained attack. So like if a couple of truckloads rolled up and they all started piling out, we'd be in a lot of trouble. Again, this is why building community is important, because I know that I've got somebody in 2 meter distance, and it's not tagged, but I got somebody in 2 meter distance that I can put a call out and they'd be here in a matter of minutes. And he actually said if he heard gunfire in the middle of the night, that he would be on his way over. And same way here. Actually, Angela's the one that would hear the gunfire, because I sleep like a log.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I think those gangs that you talk about, the people that make it out here, by the time they get here, you're talking about the pros. You're talking about the good ones. Mm-hmm. Not from a moral perspective. I'm talking about the skilled, right? You're talking about what gets here is, troublesome at the very least, which again is why I think community matters so much. Hey, real quick, I want to answer his question. He said, tag lifetime free. Do you have alarms for detection? The answer is absolutely yes. In fact, I think when you're building a homestead, security should be the first thing you think about. And every single thing you do should be number one on the list. Your first consideration into any building. I'm not going to get into any detail for obvious reasons, but anyway, I just wanted to say that.
I have redundancy perimeter security. I got dogs. I got a lot of things that I ain't even going to talk about, but they ain't getting up on me. And I got a large crew that I can call that'll be here in 30 minutes, and most of them are combat veterans, and a lot of them got class 3 freaking license, and it would somebody be in deep crap if they rolled up here. And, like I said, I was talking to you earlier, Tag, I was training with SWAT this weekend, so.
Now, the problem is, though, bud, no matter how big a badass you are, alone, you're in big trouble.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. A lone man is easy prey. A lone man is easy prey.
Yeah, for anybody
that's why you got to have a mag team.
Yeah, I was a soldier. I know, Garen was a soldier. I don't know if either of you guys served, but
I was not a soldier. I was a Marine. Get it right. Goodness.
That's a soldier in my book. Anyway, I was in the Army. He was in the Marines. But, I know you can only be effective on watch so long. You can only take patrol. There comes a time where you can't. I worked 12 hours today outside on the homestead. If I had to go do a 5-hour, oh my goodness, I'm old, man. I ain't want none of that shit. No thanks. No thank you.
Grumpy brought up a really good point too, because like the prepper fiction books and all the Golden Hoard, the Mad Max type stuff, the things you like to read about, the movies we like to watch and all that. It's more about on any given day, I suppose. I mean, when things get bad, the odds of just localized groups, small groups of people that decide that, hey, we've got there's resources out here. If we're stealthy enough, if we get together, we can go get something out there. I think that's far more likely than the zombie apocalypse, right? Of everybody just leaving the city. And those people, like you said, are going to know what they're going to know more about what they're doing than the average Joe Blow that's waiting for FEMA to, one of the trucks to come give them food and water and stuff like that. So, yeah. And that's
the zombie apocalypse today. I think you walk around a mall and watch people with their cell phone in your hands. It's
yeah.
It's kind of already the zombie apocalypse, in a lot of ways. But I think to all of those points, I think the answer to all of these, the answer to the economic problems, the answer to the ESG system, the answer to the digital dollar, the answer to all of them is parallel and counter economies and building community. And I think it's just ultimately the answer.
Yeah. And a couple of 5-gallon buckets full of thermite.
There's no problem so big it can't be solved with the proper application of violence.
Absolutely.
Oh my goodness. I'm trying so hard not to get this video demonetized, and you guys are working your best at doing it.
Hey, local prepper popped in, and if you guys didn't see it this morning, he aired an interview with Spags, and they talked about some really, really good and really important prepping stuff. Yep. Local prepper talked about the topic was homesteading is what every prepper should aim for. You should try to get the self-sufficiency from homesteading. And he talked about in game theory, you've got your finite players and your infinite players, and you want to move away from that finite player where you're dependent on your stuff, and to the infinite player where you're dependent on your systems, the system, and not the stuff. And I thought, if you guys haven't had a chance, when you're done watching this, go watch that video, because they covered some really good ground there, and it's stuff that's really pertinent to what we're talking about tonight.
Yeah, I haven't met him yet.
Yeah, he's funny too.
Yeah, I haven't met him yet. I think we've got a video with him.
He says he's smart.
Well, I didn't say that. I just said you were funny.
Yeah, it's funny how people interpret things, huh?
Self-licking ice cream cones.
Yeah, right. Oh my goodness.
I'm just going for trauma.
Yep. So what have you guys been working on for, being more prepared? What's going on lately for everybody in your own life? I'm building a duck coop. That's what I've been working on. What are you guys been working on?
Quails. I've been building a quail coop.
Mm-hmm.
I've been working on trying to figure out, one, because I can't get my damn lawn to grow. So the prepper in me said, screw it, I'm going to plant food.
Yep.
So, there you go.
I have been trying to figure out different areas and how to, keep the dogs out of them and stuff like that. So that's been my trying to grow enough that during harvest, right before fall or whatever, it is just a pain in the ass, because I got to can everything. We got to, store up for you guys have the same type of weather out here other than all American down there in Florida, but you got to get through the winter and stuff. But that's my main thing is the food, because one, it's just so much better for you, your own food, rather than the crap you get from the grocery store. And two, that is such a big chunk of money, other than like your house payment, mortgage for most of us have those. Other than that, that's a huge chunk of money that you pay monthly that could be really reduced. Now, granted, it's still going to cost you to grow your own food. You've got the water, you've got the sweat labor that you got to put into it as well. It's not free.
No.
It might not cost as much, but it's definitely not free. But that's kind of what I've been doing. We just got some baby chicks as well, because our old birds are getting kind of old and not producing as much. So we're introducing some new ones to the flock. But just food has been my thing this year, is trying to get that up to the point. I am, like I said, I'm not near the level of homestead as you guys, but like you said, man, that's something that we should always try to be getting better at and closer to every year, because there could be a time, and even if that time doesn't come, it makes your life so much better. Just being living that way, like your YouTube channel, Life Done Free.
Yeah.
Money anyway.
Yeah. It's interesting you talk about that. I've studied this topic in depth, and you can buy your way to energy independence. You can, and you can buy your way to water independence. You can buy your way to money independence. There's a lot of them that you can buy your way out of, but you cannot buy your way to food independence. It is the hardest, in my opinion, as a off-grid homesteader, being 100% food, having 100% independence on your needs of food is, to me, the hardest one to get to and the one most worthy. It's hard. I know. And we grow big gardens. I've got food forests. We've got lots of animals, and I'm still not producing all of my food.
Yeah. See, and I don't think you can. I honestly do not think you can make even the, we call it homesteading. It's actually modern homesteading. It's not really actual homesteading. It's modern. It's a variation on it. Right. Even the homesteaders back that went out on the prairies and made towns and stuff. The reason why they made towns was because they could not be 100% self-sufficient, and I agree with you guys. The food thing, that's where we've been putting a lot of effort in, and it's the conventional garden is probably not going to happen until the fall, so we're getting alternative, like woody mounds and doing all these other permaculture things and trying to get that, and then trying to get our customer base back, because we moved and we lost our entire customer base for our goats and our sheep, and I finally decided we need to get back in there and we need to start selling these things to get that alternative revenue stream in and start making space in the freezer for stuff and all that. But yeah, I agree that the food's the 100, but quite honestly, I got more unfinished projects than I do finished projects.
Yeah.
We got so many wild edibles down here, and we never have a true winter. There is, as of right now, because people can go to the grocery store, there's wild hogs everywhere down here. They are a menace. People call me and say, please come kill these hogs. They're tearing up my yard. And I kill them and just salt them and slow smoke them and just stick that meat back, because I do not use refrigeration. I do it primitively. I have no freezer, no refrigeration. I use salt and slow smoke it, and I've never had it go bad.
American, that the weather down there is a great plus for you, because honestly, the negative 30-degree weather that we get here in the wintertime kind of blows. But I saw a video from Florida of a big cat killing an alligator. So you got stuff that will kill you being killed by other stuff that will kill you. We don't have that problem.
Yep.
Alligators are so easy to catch. They're the most easiest thing there is to catch. I catch them with a rod and reel and a saltwater lure, and I reel them in and then chop them right across the top of the head with a machete, and they're done. I
love gator steaks, but you're welcome to do that.
Yeah.
And they're not as scary as I guess I grew up doing that. My whole life. We hunt, killed gator, and it's just, I'm not afraid of them. They can be 50 gator out there in the lake, and I just swim right in the middle of all of them. And when I want one, I harvest it.
And what's funny is Dell's sitting there laughing. He's in Colorado. Our daughter was up in Estes Park staying with relatives, and she calls us. There's a bear on the deck. What do I do? Well, don't open the door.
Yeah,
that's what you do. So you got stuff up there that'll eat you too, man. Kansas, worst we got to worry about is maybe a fox or a coyote.
Well, and All American Prepper, you got sort of a unique situation compared to a lot of people in the country, because even where I am, I got deer that run through my yard every damn day. It
Me
drives
too.
But those in a situation where there isn't any food will be gone in days. I guarantee you.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone up here knows how to hunt, and everyone up here knows what's going to be going on, and it'll all be gone. I might have a couple rabbits that run through my yard a week after everything goes to crap, but I'm not dependent on now. The first day, if I have any kind of inclination, and the first day, something's going down, I'm getting myself a deer before it's too late. But as far as long-term sustainability, that it's not an option. And I think for most people, it's the same situation down there with you. I mean, that's fantastic for you. You got it down. But I think a lot of people, most people, it's just not possible.
Well, and if the lights go out, if the grid goes down, everybody's going to be hunting. Those resources are going to get depleted fast.
Well, and
the more
just
population around you, the faster they'll be depleted, right?
Yeah. Just to drive the point home, the state of Missouri a couple of years ago, they harvested 2.5 million deer during the deer season. They estimated that the deer herd was about 6 million. So that was a couple of years ago. During the Great Depression, the deer herd in Missouri was hunted down. They verified there were only 4,500 deer in the entire state of Missouri at the height of the Great Depression. So that's 100% true. That stuff, and you're going to be competing with every single idiot out there with a gun, whether they know how to hunt or not.
Yeah, you're going to need All American Shield there.
Yeah. I'll be out there about.
Just to go out and get yourself a deer, you're going to need a Kevlar vest and a.
Well, and it goes back to the argument. You don't need 30 rounds to deer hunt. You're absolutely correct. I only need one. I need the other 29 to protect it once I kill it from all those yahoos that are trying to take it away from me.
Yeah.
Well, what I think will be the smart thing, as soon as you say, "Oh man, the shit is hitting the fan," go ahead and do your mega harvest right then. Like, I could literally go out tonight and kill 20 hogs and salt them and smoke them. And that meat would literally last me and Little Miss Prepper for a very, very long time.
Well, and I think
and then, a pellet rifle. When all the big game's gone, I'm a big advocate of a pellet rifle. Because when all the deers and all the hogs, you're still going to have rabbits and birds and possums and just with a pellet, and squirrels. We call them limb rats down here, but just shoot them with that pellet rifle. It don't make much noise. Nobody knows you shot something, and you can get 1 million pellets, and they literally take up this much room, and just hunt small, just sit in your yard, and anything that moves, shoot it and eat it. That's what I would do, and eat the weeds, because there's so many wild edibles. It is insane down here. I mean, you do not have to go to the grocery store if you know how to harvest wild edibles in Florida. They're everywhere.
Well, and this conversation speaks to the fact that, a lot of people don't hunt and they don't know how. And if you're serious about prepping and you're serious about homesteading, hunting is a skill you need to learn. And it is a skill. You just don't grab a rifle and go out and shoot something. It takes some knowledge of the local terrain and the local animals and all that in order to do it. And speaking of what All American was saying, the foraging and the wildcrafting, that, dude, we're learning that right now. And that's a tough one, man. Learning the list of plants that you can use and what they're all good for and all that, man, there's a lot of knowledge there that you could take an entire lifetime learning and still not know it all.
Well, I'm blessed with that because my first mother-in-law was a very wonderful lady, and she taught me wild edibles, and I was like 14 years old, and that ever since then, ever since I was 14, I'm 50. Ever since I was 14, I've been foraging and eating wild edibles that grow down here. So and she was an angel. Now the mother-in-law I got now, I would hate to have her looking through a rifle scope at me. Let's just put it that way. But
I was going to say, be careful what you say, man. You got to see her on the holidays.
no, hell, I don't neither. But hey, look, Miss Prepper, look at no, they don't like me. I just guess I'm too manly for them.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, Starla, American Prepper, all American Preppers in Florida.
You got to man up. That's my motto, man up.
Wouldn't it be much easier? And maybe this is because I'm old and soft, and if that's the answer, I accept it. But I mean, this is why I built a pond and stocked it with fish. This is why we have animals. This is why we raise animals. This is why we do all of that stuff. So I don't have to have the burden of going through that. This is why we plant stuff all over our woods. You know, anytime there's anything extra, it goes in the woods somewhere, and we just hope it continues to grow and there's food everywhere. You can pick, you know, everything from wild grapes to wild turnips out in my pasture right now. And to just was to Garen's point that all prepping leads to homesteading, and I would take that a step further, that all homesteading leads to freesteading. Ultimately, you know, as you chase the freedom thing, you know, all the way down. But I don't want to have to compete with people, and I want to create my own environment. And maybe that makes me soft, but that's what I want to do.
Well, but Taggart, not everybody has the opportunity to do that, though.
I know, I understand, but that should be the goal, in my opinion.
I agree.
I'm 100% self-reliant. Like I said, the only thing I need is soap. That's it. And I'm sure I could learn how to make soap, but I like store-bought soap.
We're sending you soap, homemade soap.
That's my thing is soap. I mean, other than that, like she'll tell you that damn Sasquatch soap, I probably got 10 pounds of that stuff because I love it. The pine, you get the pine kind, and it helps keep the bugs off of you. Because down here in Florida, we got bugs, brother.
Most everything else, you don't care. You'll bathe in a kiddie pool. You'll take a dump in a bucket. But when it comes to soap, you're a snob, huh?
Yeah. That's where I draw the line. That's where I draw. You know, I can use a bucket. I can take a kiddie pool, but I got to have me some damn soap. That's all there is to it.
So Angela Yoda's in the chat. She doesn't know this, but she knew part of it. So we bought a bunch of soap from Shelly at Two Old Crows because she makes some fantastic soap. Yeah. And we were selling it at our vendor tent, and we got down to like six bars last weekend. We got home from that festival, and I just took them all and stuck them in my cabinet because I didn't want to lose access to them. So yeah, it's just I'm right there with you, man. Good bar of soap goes a long way to making you feel better, man.
If I was on that show alone, which I really do want to be on that show alone because I love being away from people and just being out on my own. I love that. And I believe I would win that show. So if anybody watching, get my ass on that show alone. I need the money and I'll win it. But you know what? I would take me a damn bar of soap.
Yeah, you know, some people take a knife, some people take a machete, some people take a pot. Not all American Prepper. Give me soap.
Soap. I can make everything else. I find me a piece of metal, I can forge that into a knife. Not a problem. I can get me a stick and make me a bow. Not a problem. I've been doing that since I was a kid. That's all I really know. You know, when people was going to school, I was skipping school, busy learning stuff. You know? I mean, I learned primitive. Primitive. I just do as primitive as possible. That way, you know.
Soap is easy. It's easy.
You know, I that's the one thing. My grandpa used to make soap, and I just haven't made it since my grandpa, you know, passed. But he used to make soap.
It's easy. My wife makes all of our soap, shampoos, laundry detergent, all that, and she'll make it in about 3 days once a year, and we're done for the year.
Well, you need to send me that recipe.
Yep, it's easy. Easy.
Email it to me.
Yeah, Grumpy's wife, Yoda, and my wife get together and make that stuff together quite often.
Wow.
Yeah, I almost killed one of the girlfriends one time.
Yes, we did, actually. Yeah, don't put lye in an aluminum pan. It's a bad idea.
Yeah, that's especially whenever you got to stick your head down in it because you're short. Hey, I got to ask Dell a question. This has been ever since I found out you're going to be on this with us, dude. How's the relationship with Mr. Johnson going? Because everybody's got a Mr. Johnson, right? And I think that whole story with Mr. Johnson is, my God, that's something that we have to deal with in regular times. Imagine how bad it's going to be if something goes bad, man.
You know what? I thought the old fart was dead, and I saw him outside the other day because his son moved in. So I assume his son's helping him out. So I sort of feel bad about talking crap about him anymore because he's just an old man now, but not really because he just really chaps my hide. I'll try to tame my words here, but yeah, I saw him the other day, so he's still around, and he was out in his yard. For those of you that don't know, we've talked about him for years, me and Lisa. That old man is like the nosy neighbor, and he's, it's not like he's real close. He's not real far away either. It's probably 50, 100 yards away. But just that guy put up a greenhouse and he went to the HOA to have me take my greenhouse down because it was an extra outbuilding. And we're only supposed to have 3. And just so many different things. When we had kids here, my kids used to ride motorcycles, and they went on his property a little bit. He about lost his crap over that. I mean, with the greenhouse, I ended up just taking the roof off the damn thing, and it's actually still out there, ugly as hell, pointing right at him. So I just took the roof off of it. Now it's not an outbuilding anymore, but yeah, he's still alive and kicking. I don't know about how well, but I see him every once in a while, pops out and reminds me.
We don't have that problem down here. We're so rural. Everybody rides 4-wheelers up and down the road, and off-road vehicles up and down the road, and you put whatever the hell you want to on your property. Nobody says anything down here where I'm at. Nobody says nothing.
Yeah,
the kids
are you still best friends with Canadian Prepper?
Have you seen those videos he made about me? This guy.
Sorry, I just had to tear the scab off. I just had to. It's funny.
He got me more subscribers though by doing that. But, because some people don't like him because he's a master salesman. And, according to him, we should have been dead, 3 years ago now. But, he loves making those videos about me. I ain't even going to lie. I laugh. He gets watch time out of me because I watch the damn things. It's so funny. If you type in All American Prepper, his freaking video comes up before I come up.
That's funny. I did notice that the other day when I was listening to some stuff.
That's me. He's making fun of.
He's got some really good stuff, and I used to watch him all the time, but I can't anymore because it's all that fear porn stuff and all that.
Yeah.
But I saw that, and I was like, I didn't quite know if it was about you or not.
Yes, it's about me.
I thought he was taking a jab at basically Americans in general, but
me. That's why he's got the MMA gloves on in one of them, because he knows I'm an MMA fighter. And,
I'm gonna have to watch those now.
Oh, they're hilarious.
Yeah, they're funny as hell. But whatever, I'm cool with it. Hell, I'd even do a live with him, and I would be the part. I would be the all-American prepper that he makes fun of.
What does John Willis over at SOE say? Even bad stuff online will get you subscribers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's somebody we want to be with, is John Willis.
Do what?
So this
all publicity is good publicity.
Is John Willis.
Yep.
Oh, hey, Ghetto in the chat was talking about how we're talking about him, the Canadian dude, and he said people just said he started the fires in Canada so he could sell masks.
I probably did.
That was hilarious.
That guy's making bank, though. You can believe that.
Someone told me he moved his operation to LA or someplace. He's got a great big something south of the border now. I don't know if it's true or not. I don't really pay attention to it, but yeah, but good on him. I mean, if he's able to make a living at it, and people are eating it up, we don't have to agree with him, but we can always say, we can always agree it's good that somebody's trying to get free of the system.
Yeah. Like, I encourage people. I'm like, hey, watch them damn All-American Prepper videos on Canadian Prepper. They're freaking hilarious. And they are.
They are funny. When I was watching him, when you told me that he did that, that's why I ripped the scab off. When you told me he did it, I went back and watched a couple of them, and I was actually laughing.
Yeah, they're hilarious.
He impersonates All-American Prepper through the video. And tries to make it as redneck as hillbilly as possible. And it's funny.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I would love to do a live with him, and I would be that redneck. I am who I am. I'm just Southern born, Southern bred, just Southern redneck. That's really all I am. I just know how to fight, fish, and hunt. That's it.
This wrong with that.
This whole conversation gets me thinking. One of the things at the Okie Homestead Expo that really impressed me was how much everybody tried to lift everybody else up. And in the homesteading sphere, that seems to be a pretty common thing. And in the prepper sphere, I mentioned this in the comments on Local Preppers video today. There's a part of the prepper community that is, they follow the zero-sum solution, which is in order for me to win, you have to lose. And that's not conducive to building community. I mean, if something happens and you've got that attitude, man, you're not going to be able to build that bigger community so that you can get the assistance that you need. Because like I said, we can't do it on our own. Tyke said it, Dale said it, All American said it. Everybody realizes that. So why do people purposely go out there and go, we're not gonna help anybody. We're gonna take care of ourselves and we're gonna do all this stuff. So I think that whole conversation, is prime example of it.
That mentality, those people will not make it.
Well, I think preppers get a bad rap because that's how people view them. And there are quite a few people that are like that don't go like the route that you were talking about, where it is about community, it is about helping each other out. It's about, in those, say it's something smaller scale that isn't some sort of large scale disaster where we're all hunkered down, hiding from everybody and trying to stay away from all the chaos. I think preppers and homesteaders more so would be more helpful in situations like that, because you're able to. You see a light at the end of the tunnel, so it's like, hey, we've got the means to do this. We've trained for things like this. We've thought about these things, so let's go. Be that helpful person. But the stigma about preppers, for the most part, is the guy sitting in their basement, just hiding out. Maybe you got the AR-15 pointed out the window at you when you come on their property, getting ready to, got caltrops in the driveway and things like that. And it's just not, that's there. I don't want to say it's not there, but for the most part, as you begin to evolve and you grow into preparedness, it becomes a lot more than just that, just the surviving a certain situation. It's in general survival.
Well, and I'll take it a step further than that. If you hunker down and you try to ride the chaos out and you don't interact with anybody during that time, what you're doing is you're seeding the ability to mold the future community, because you're not there whenever something pivotal is happening, and people are not seeing it. And what they're going to see is they're going to see somebody come in after the fact and try to do things. But what we need to do, and I'm a firm believer in this, and I understand that people don't agree with it. We need to get out there and we need to interact with people at the worst of times. They need to see us being a positive influence on the community, because at the end of the day, we're going to have to provide a better vision of the future than what the other guy does. So if you've got the Marxists coming in doing what everybody's afraid they're going to do, and they've got nobody competing with them, everybody's going to follow them.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just human nature. You can't just walk away from it and expect to step back in and be able to take control and have things go well for you. So
Yeah, good point.
Yep.
I got.
I think being a freedom missionary, kind of as you said, that's super important. I think that we all need to be spreading that message and trying to help people to live freer and be freer. 'Cause I think at the end, good.
That's why I do this channel, to help people. If a bad situation ever occurs, I do everything I can to show them how they can help themselves instead of relying on other people. That's really what I'm about. I want to help people get through. If there ever is a bad situation, I want to help them get through it. I don't want to see nobody starve. I don't want to, and really down here, there's no excuse to starve. We have plenty. And
Any of you guys want to answer Starla's question that I put up on the screen?
Yeah, hold on a second. I guess the puppy just chased a bobcat off that was over by the chicken coop.
Oh,
Literally within the last 5 minutes. That's why she was scratching at the door wanting in. She wanted to come in and show off for me, apparently. Angela said she saw the bobcat running off. So that's crazy.
wow.
I'd eat that bobcat. That's what happened to that bobcat. It ended up on the grill.
I'm sorry to interrupt. That's first. We've been out here almost 2 years. It's the first time that's happened.
I would take care of that bobcat and it'd be on the grill.
Yep.
Yeah, that is a little concerning because now you got to wonder, is it going to be curious again? Is it coming back? Yeah.
Yep.
I would be.
I would let that.
So I'll be the first to kind of go with that one. The 80-20 rule. I always intend to when I start something out, or when I'm thinking about, okay, what do I need to do here? What do I need to do there? I always try to figure out that, what is going to give me the most bang for my buck, that 20% of things that are going to give me 80% of the results. But because there's so many different things, especially in the summertime, spring and summer, so many different things going on, I try to focus on one thing, then something else pops up, and then something else. Or I just get kind of excited about doing one thing and spend so much time on something that really it was more for me than actually becoming more prepared, because it really, I spend 80% of my time to get 20% of the results on something. So I try to, I have the intention to usually, but rarely does it actually work out that way. But I think it's probably more of the 50-50 rule for me.
Yeah. Anybody else have a comment on that? G?
I'm in the same boat as Dell. I always intend to, but the no plan survives first contact with the enemy, and life is the enemy here on the homestead. So yeah, I never even come close to it.
Yeah.
Everybody's got a plan in a fight till they get punched in the face.
Yep.
Yeah, I suppose on a homestead, your plan gets dictated to you, correct?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of times.
Yeah, it's dictated by the weather. It's dictated by the cycle. It's dictated by the sun, but it's also dictated by the event. We were joking today with Indiana Mike. I just got 2 new livestock guardian dogs, but because I got them, I need to get them bonded with the sheep and not with the humans. So I've got to get the sheep in their portable pen. So I've got to get the barn built. Well, I can't get the barn built because I got to get the fence up. So I got to get the fence up. And so, all I really want to do is finish my kitchen table I started, and so it's just this incredible circle. And G's over there shaking his head. He knows exactly what I'm talking about. We call it here the ripple effect, because every single thing that happens has some other outcome and some other thing that becomes dependent upon that one thing. And, I was going to build a table 2 weeks ago, and I started on it. Then the dog showed up. I had a birthday, and my wife got me some guardian dogs. And guess what? I'm now building fence.
So the upside of that, correct me if I'm wrong, Tag, the upside of all that is you get really excited when you actually finish something. It feels like
it's so rare.
10 times better than normal.
Yeah.
So rare. I got another, I wanted to put this one up here too. This is from, Rain Country's channel that I follow. We've gotten to be good friends over time. And she says before she started her channel, she was afraid to put herself out there so publicly, but then again, the more we get on board, that is one less person we need to worry about. I think that's a good point to your point, G. I wanted to make sure I put that up there. Yeah. Heidi's a really smart lady. And if anybody wants a channel that shows you how to make, potions and witchcraft. That's a good one right there. No, my wife loves it. My wife watches every video religiously.
Yep.
Yeah, you hear a lot about the OPSEC and, you know, all of that. And it really is that, you know, that double-edged sword, fine line, whatever you want to call it type thing. But you think about what are the odds because you are too vocal about something that somebody, you know, figures out where you are and comes and takes what you have, compared to the odds of that situation never happens, but you don't have any community, you don't have anybody, any support, and things get really bad and you're kind of on your own at that point. So I sort of lean on the side of, yeah, I understand there's a certain aspect of OPSEC. There are things that I, even on YouTube, I will not talk about, things that Lisa and I do. But at the same time, you do have to let people know. I don't have any bones about talking about preparedness to people, friends, and things like that. Because it's just, the more they know about it, you know, like she was talking about, maybe that's somebody that is on your side. Maybe that's somebody, I've got friends that are now interested in it and have, you know, gotten at the very least a little bit of long-term food or something like that. So I think that there is that OPSEC aspect of it, but at the same time, I mean, you don't want to be that person that is so scared to tell anybody about anything that all of a sudden you're all by yourself and you got a whole bunch of crap, but you're sitting there by yourself.
Yeah, this speaks to my heart, you know, and anybody who's watching on my channel already knows this, but, you know, the system took everything from me. They literally took everything from me. And so I'm done hiding. I'm not going to hush my mouth. I'm not going to hush my tongue. Dude, I'm done. I'm done with it. I did that for so many years, and all I did was contribute to the problem. That's all I ever did. I hid because I thought it was safer, blah, 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 blah. But in the end of the day, if more of us would have stood up early on, maybe we wouldn't be in the situation that we're in. I'm done with it. Yeah. I'm hiding.
Tag calls it ambassadorship, and I call it evangelism, being evangelical. You have to be evangelical.
Down here, I call it, I'll be your huckleberry.
With brass knuckles on your shoes.
Yeah.
Damn straight.
Hey, somebody in the chat earlier, is there an animal you won't eat, All-American?
No.
Yeah,
I'll eat anything. I will eat anything. You know, they're talking about they want to feed us bugs. I already eat bugs, so give me some bugs. I'll eat them. I do not care.
Hey, there's a difference between choice and being forced to do something. If I've got a choice between a steak and a bug, I'm eating a steak. But if they tell me you can't have steak, you got to eat these bugs, I'm going to be a little upset about that.
That's where the problem
I'm eating both of them. I'm eating the bugs, and I'll go out and kill. You know, like I said, there's so much wildlife down here and fish, and we got the ocean. You know, I mean, there's nothing I won't eat. I don't care what it is. Just, I will tell you this. Make sure if you eat a grasshopper, you better cook it all the way or it'll give you tapeworms.
That's good to know.
Well, and you know, the thing that catches in my craw about that whole thing is the people telling us that we will eat bugs or we should eat bugs are not the people that are going to be eating bugs.
Yeah.
No.
Don't tell me, don't lecture me on climate change as you fly around the world on your jet emitting more carbon in one trip than I do in an entire year. Don't tell me I'm going to eat bugs while you're eating Wagyu steak. You know, it's that these people think that they are better than the rest of us and that they should be in charge. And those are the exact people that shouldn't be in charge in my book. You know,
in my opinion, those people are so evil. They're probably cannibals.
I like Ray Gunter's comment. She said she swallowed the dog to catch the cat, to catch the bird, to catch the spider, to catch the fly. That's homesteading. If anybody wants to know what homesteading is, that's homesteading right there. That's all it is. It's right there. That song will tell you everything there is to know about it, in my opinion. Super well said, Heidi. Hey, someone's also asking, I don't know, they said, okay, where are these people posting that they can see it and they don't see the comments here? Anybody know? I don't have any idea. I mean, we're broadcasting on all 4 channels, I'm assuming, right?
Well,
Yeah, I
Maybe
see
they're
the
talking about
comments.
each individual, like people
Yeah,
are
mine
commenting on
doesn't
mine and
have-
they can't see them on yours, or I don't know.
I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know how that works.
I'm seeing them all come
Don't
through.
get on
so.
this one.
Yeah, so Milo on the ready. I don't have any idea, partner. I just don't know. I wish I did, but I have no idea.
Focus on mine.
I'm looking at my channel right now, and I don't see his comment. I don't see Milo's comment on my channel.
Yes, I'm broadcasting through StreamYard, but I got me, guys. I have no idea. Anyway,
I'm looking.
hey, we're at an hour, and so I don't want to drag this out too long so everyone's tired, but I'd like to hear some advice from all of you guys on what people should be doing today. You know, with all the craziness going on in the world, and I think, Survivalist Prepper, you said it really, really well when I said, what do you watch? And you're like, how the hell would I know? You know, there's so much going on out there in the world today. I'd love to hear from your guys' perspective what you think people should be working on right now.
Well,
He's asking her.
oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, somebody, Batshite Crazy said in the chat, do live chat, not top chat. Maybe that was part of the answer for whatever reason.
Oh, good call. Yeah, good call.
Maybe that works. I don't know. Sorry, All American. Go ahead, man.
No, you good. Well, just be prepared, not scared. Just be a student. You know, open your mind. Turn the damn TV off. Quit listening to this mainstream propaganda and just get out of the system. You know, grow your own food. When you plant a seed and it grows and you can eat it, there's just something so wonderful about that. When you go hunting, like I have a video, if you look at my videos, I don't know if you guys seen them, those big old bucks I got with a bow. You know, there's something really satisfying about that. And I got them with a bow I made myself, not no store-bought bow or any of that. I made all that myself. The arrow tips I made out of a broken piece of glass. You know, just become self-sufficient, self-reliant. Like he said, Grumpy said, you got to know how to hunt. You don't just go out there and do it. It's a learning process. It's just like gardening. People's got a seed bank saying, oh, when the apocalypse happens, I'm going to grow a garden. If you ain't grown a garden, you're not going to know what the hell you're doing. It's not going to work.
Yeah.
You know, just do it now. Practice it now. And it's just such a wonderful feeling. For me, it's such a wonderful feeling, you know, eating that deer, eating that hog, you know, eating whatever I harvested, eating the weeds even. And, you know, I just am bartering, you know, hog meat for some you know, it's just wonderful being a free man. It's wonderful being a free man.
I think for me, it's sort of along the same lines, and it's, you know, think locally about things. Think about your personal situation, your family, your friends, your community, all of that stuff, because all the outside noise, I mean, there's a lot of things that could happen. There's a lot of things that I pay attention to, but my thing for the longest time, ever since I've been doing this, is economic stuff. And that's probably because I grew up poor with no money, and that going back to that type of situation is always on my mind. So it's being able to kind of hedge my bets before something like that happens. And I think when you think about what disaster is likely and what disaster isn't, it is something that is more slow rolling, something that affects you, a slow burning type situation. If the grid goes down for a week or so, we've probably got that. You know, most of us, most of us preppers anyway, probably have that. But if something lasts for a couple of years and all of a sudden you don't have the money for the food and you don't, I mean, just a lot of things that could happen during that slow rolling type thing. So that's kind of what I worry about, is just get the things done that I can, the core prepping, the core preparedness essentials. And then, you know, pay attention to all that other stuff, but don't let it consume you to the point where you're so worried about one thing that you're getting blindsided by something else. And make sure that all your preparedness, you know, you got a year's worth of food, great, but make sure you've got water and everything else, and all the security and everything's got to be covered. So that's kind of where I go, is just when I get kind of stressed out about some of the crap going on, I kind of go inside and just try to figure out, okay, what can I do to kind of help me feel better about the situation, know that I'm working on getting things done. That's kind of where I go. But there's a lot of things, man. It's almost too hard to, pick one. It's almost hard to rate them, like which one is worse than the other, because it seems like we're staring down the barrel of a shotgun.
Yeah. Gee.
Okay. But before I tell you what I think everybody should be doing, I want to touch on a couple of things that those guys said. Number one, to the training aspect, All American's absolutely correct. And I would add to that, there are people out there that know how to do these things, and they are more than willing to take your money to teach you how to do it. So if you've got the income and you can afford to pay somebody to teach you the knowledge they have, do it, because you're going to learn it much quicker that way. If they're a good teacher, I mean, be careful. Just don't throw money at anybody. But if they're a good teacher, you're going to learn it much quicker that way than learning it by yourself. And then what Dale said about the financial freedom, man, I'm here to tell you our journey over the last year and a half. We were financially free aside from the mortgage and a little bit of debt before the big thing happened with the mandate and all that stuff. And not having all that excessive debt gave us options. We had so many. We had the option for me to quit my job and find another one. We had the option to sell my house and buy a different piece of property. We would not have been able to do that if we were up to our eyeballs in debt. So there's a second thing. Dale's 100% correct. He hit on it absolutely. Financial freedom is so important, especially right now as they're debasing the dollar, and those dollars sitting in your bank account are becoming less and less valuable. I'm not a financial guy, but turn money into assets as much as you can right now. Okay,
I agree with that.
Now, to what I think is the most important thing, and if anybody that's listened to my channel for any amount of time I'm going to sound like a broken record. Build community. Building community, I can tell you from personal experience the last year and a half, having a community behind you when you go through something traumatic like SHTF, and it doesn't have to be the end of the world. It can be losing a job, losing a loved one. I mean, they talk about the end of the world as we know it. Well, guess what? Every time you go to sleep, the world changes and you wake up to a completely different world. So building a community right now is probably the most important thing anybody could do. And it's more easily said than done. I can sit here and say it, but the hardest part, I'm telling you right now, the hardest part of building community is talking to that person for the first time. Find opportunities to go do that. Come to Midwest Preparedness Festival. Find festivals where you are that are doing that, and go talk to people, meet people at these festivals. Go to the Okie Homesteading Expo. Get out there and you have to put yourself out there in order to build community. And it's so important. It's the reason why we are in Northeast Kansas now is because I waited for somebody else to start building community with me instead of going out and finding it myself. And when the time came, I would much rather be in Missouri right now than in Northeast Kansas. I'm a Missouri guy through and through, but no support structure. My support structure was here in Northeast Kansas because of the relationship that Tag and I and everybody in our circle had built over the previous 10 years of camping together and stuff, Tag.
Wow.
So community, build community, get out there, put yourself out there and meet people.
Yeah. So my answer to the question is, first of all this advice is good. Community absolutely matters. Live it every single day absolutely matters. But I would, and I am a financial guy. For you guys who know that's where I come from. And I think to Garen's point, to get focus on those assets, I also think is important. But I think I'm going to go a totally different direction, which is, what would I be working on is I would turn the whole art of starving the beast into a personal game in my personal life. I would, man. And you know what? Because it encompasses so many things. There was a great comment earlier about find your weakest spot and get working on it. But I think for me, I would say, okay, how do I break out of this system? And what's the easiest one for me to tackle right now? As I mentioned earlier, you can buy your way to energy independence. You can do a lot of those things. You can't food independence. And I would just turn it into a game of, hey, I'm going to go out there and starve the beast. I'm going to go be ungovernable. And what's step one in my 9,000 step process, and make it a game and just have some fun with it. so don't drag you down, and be proud of your accomplishments. And when you get from 30% free to 32, celebrate it like, it's your 16-year-old, going to prom for the first time. So that's what I would do, man. Make it fun, make it a game, starve the beast, and become ungovernable. I think that's it for us tonight. But hey, before we go, I'm going to let everyone have a last word, and then we're going to get out of here. And then we're going to do it again someday, I'm sure, because this has been a lot of fun for me. So I'll do them in the order in which backwards, or I'll do them in the frontwards order we came in. G, what you got? What's your final words, dude?
Just, we use the Life Done Free moniker here too. Go out and live a life done free. Wake up, do something today so that when you wake up tomorrow, you are a little bit freer of the system than what you were the day before.
Yeah.
It's conscious. You have to do it consciously.
Yep. Brass knuckles in your boots. What do you got?
Well, basically everything he said, and just be prepared, not scared, learn, be a student. Don't be closed-minded. Always be a student. Like I see this comment, asking, would we charge? I got a whole playlist of wild edibles. If you live in Florida, you can watch and eat. And that doesn't cost anybody anything. But I would take on any apprentice. I wouldn't charge them anything. Anybody wants to learn, I'll take them hunting, fishing. Matter of fact, the Angry Prepper is supposed to come down here and camp with me, and that's going to be a blast.
Man, you guys got to film that.
Yeah. Oh, it'll be filmed. It'll be filmed. But yeah, we're working on it. We talk occasionally, but when he gets down here, he's going to camp. I'm even going to put an air conditioner in his tent so he doesn't die of heat. And
Angry Prepper from New York.
Yes, I've been on his channel as a guest.
That'll be interesting. I don't know if he camps or not. So I mean, but we're going to.
It's going to be a blast because I'm going to have him eating weeds and squirrels, and it's all going to be videoed. I'm going to be like, bro, you are not a real prepper unless you eat this limb rat. So I hope he doesn't watch this video.
Surprise.
Yeah. All right. Dale, Survivalist Prepper, what do you got? Anything you want to say before we get out of here?
I think as far as preparedness goes, the way I sort of like to think about it is kind of like a battle plan where you've got time to set up the pieces and get everything set before the curtain goes up, basically. So that's how we should kind of approach this stuff. Just do the best you can with what you have and do as much as you can. And then regardless what happens, once that does, whether it's something small, something big, you're kind of where you are, no matter like it or not. So just try to get as good as you possibly can, as much as you can possibly done in that direction for when that does happen. And then if nothing does happen, your golden years are going to be fantastic because you're going to be set. Or I kind of think about it like when we croak, our kids are probably going to be throwing away a lot of food and stuff, but to more power to them, I suppose. Hopefully they grabbed a few of the nuggets that hopefully we passed on some stuff as they were growing up, but I think just do what you can. And that's all you can do. And don't worry about all the noise.
Yeah.
I think Del said something really important there.
Great
we
advice.
still have time. We still have time. The window's closing, but it's not closed, and it's not closing as fast as people think it is. So get out there and do stuff. Get stuff done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I want to build on what Survivalist Prepper said real quick, and that also I would add, because what he said was perfect. Although I would add one thing to it, which is celebrate where you are. Be proud of where you are, because it doesn't matter. Don't compete with me, because don't do it. I don't compete with Grumpy. Grumpy don't compete with me, and we're in the same community. But compete with yourself, and are you proud of where you are, and be a little better today than you were yesterday, right? And be proud of the progress you've made, and don't get caught up in the BS, as Survivalist Prepper said. I think that was just super, super great advice. And I want to answer this question real quick to all the panel. If people wanted to learn from you, would you charge to train or do it for free? If you want to come out and chop wood with me, and you want to come out and dig holes with me and build fence with me, I promise you it's free of charge.
Yes.
Yeah.
How many people did we have out there when we put up 40 cord of wood that one day?
Oh, 47.
47 people. And then we had a couple weekends later, we had 15 of those people were able to make it over to our place. So yeah, we're all about these work days. You want to come do work days, man? We'll work something out.
Yep. All right, good. Hey, I want to thank everybody for coming on tonight. I had fun. It was great.
Blast.
Yeah, Survivalist Prepper, it was good to meet you, bud. I'd never known, I didn't meet you before, and I still don't have any dirt on you, but I'll continue to work on that. But what I did gain out of it tonight, someone said something really, really cool about the soap snob, which has been added to my dirt list for the All American Prepper. So I actually wrote that on my list, but so we're going to add that. Anyway, all right, guys, good night, everybody. Thank you, everybody, for coming tonight. It was great. Thanks for having all these people here. We'll see you guys on, I guess before we go, I'll be doing a live on Friday, Life Done Free YouTube, Facebook, website. Grumpy, where do people get a hold of you at?
Grandpa Acres Farm YouTube channel. We've got the store if you want to support us. We sell freeze-dried goods and some other stuff. I will be down at Pomme de Terre Lake this weekend. There's a group of about 60 to 80 people in southern Missouri. They're actually coming all the way from the East Coast and places beyond for a get-together this weekend. And basically it's a baby Midwest Preparedness Festival. First, it's only the second one they've held. So I'm going to go down there and be an ambassador from our community with them, and we might even be able to do a live. So it should be kind of interesting.
Yeah, All American Prepper. Where can people get a hold of you at? Where can they find your stuff?
All American Prepper 13. That's my channel, and they can come to Black Tiger Airsoft and do some simulated combat. And we can go to Champions MMA and do some MMA hands-on. I like to do both because sometimes you have to fight physically to get to your primary weapon.
All right. Well, Survivalist Prepper, you got to top that.
I don't do much of the MMA, but I do prep a little bit. So you can find me just Survivalist Prepper, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook. Although I'm not on Facebook much anymore. My website, YouTube channel, podcast, all that stuff. I did just recently start a little prepping community. It's a Mighty Networks prepping community at members.survivalistprepper.net, which is something that hopefully grows into something really cool where we're going to talk about all sorts of different preparedness topics and current events and, all the different areas of preparedness and all that. Just kind of learn from each other, grow, and all that stuff. Hopefully that turns out to be something really cool. But yeah, Survivalist Prepper all over the place. It's, pretty easy to find.
Rock on. Well, hey, good night, everybody. Everybody, thanks for coming.